This problem we want to factor completely, if possible. If not possible, write not factorable. Just to review a little bit, for our factoring, we had our first technique, which was GCF. And this was the greatest common factor. And you always do this, try to do this method. Doesn't mean you can successfully do it, but you try to do it. Our second method is grouping. And this is when you have 4 or more terms. Our third method is PSD. And this is when it's of the form x squared plus bx plus c. Our fourth method was key number, and that's when you got the form ax squared plus bx plus c. Both of these are 3 terms, and we have x squared, x, no x. The key number is when you got a number in front of your x squared. Our fifth method is dots. This is difference of 2 squares. And this is when you got 2 terms with a minus between them. Now the sixth one is the difference of 2 cubes. This is when you got 2 terms with a minus between them. Then our seventh one is the sum of 2 cubes. And this is when you got 2 terms with a plus between them. Now there's another one that I don't ever cover list here, the perfect square trinomial, because you can use the PST and key number to factor those types. Okay, now this one here. Our first method is GCF, greatest common factor. So we look through to see if they have something in common. Some of them have A's, some of them have Y's, some of them have R's, but all 4 terms have nothing in common, so there is no GCF. Start going down through our list, and grouping is when we have 4 or more terms. So what it looks like will tell you exactly which method to try. This has 4 more terms, so we're going to use grouping. So let's put this on our tablet. There it goes. And we got AR plus AU plus RY plus UI. With grouping, we group first 2 terms together, and we group the last 2 terms together. Now, ignoring the second group, you look at only the first group, and you ask yourself, what's a GCF? What do they have in common? Well, they both have an A in common. So I'll factor out an A, and that leaves us R plus U. For our second group here, they have a GCF of Y, so they have a Y in common. So I'll factor out a Y, and that leaves us R plus U. Now our goal with grouping is to get this parentheses the same as this, which they are. So I'm going to factor out R plus U out in front. To decide what goes in your second set of parentheses, you can come up with the previous step, and if you cross out the R plus U's, what isn't crossed out is what goes in this parentheses, which would be A plus Y. And that would be our answer.